Meghan Markle and Prince Harry may leave Montecito and move to Florida. Well, they're saying it's all to do with the Beckhams, but could it also be because Netflix has dropped her?
He is frightened. I mean, he can be very angry with her, but then there are times when she really lets go, that he is scared and she can scream.
Altogether, Netflix has made the not so difficult decision to axe with Love Meghan, plunging the Duchess.
Meghan and Harry, y'all owe me a serious chunk of change that loan for your Montecito mansion. If it ain't paid back in 30 days, I'll have no choice but to take this to court.
Did Meghan Markle put out a fake photo? Now, as you're going to see here on this, I guess what is supposed to be promotional content or something. Who made this, Meghan? All your teams are gone. Did you do this yourself? Oh, you've been doing it yourself the whole time?
She is an absolute user of the media. She uses every conceivable way to try and play the victim and score.
That's it. If Meghan wants to send her stuff, it's going straight in the bin.
She has just rejected the fellow actress in the most mortifying manner after moving to Montecito. This is a headline that Meghan Markle doesn't want to see.
It's not like she's on the bed rest. She's been walking the lower village since the pregnancy, and her mother has the first child wandering around.
Harry and Meghan's statement about their near catastrophic car chase with paparazzi through the streets of Manhattan was disturbing. Their account of a relentless pursuit at the hands of aggressive hordes of photographers was intentionally.
Meghan Markle's cheering on the Invictus Games athletes from home. A source told Page Six that Meghan left Vancouver a few days before the end of the games to be with her and Prince Harry's two children, Archie and Lilibet.
And Meghan actually is very, very rude and bad. And I'm very pleased that people say, look, you do what you like, but I'm actually for the royal family and I don't want to hear the dreadful things.
Meghan Markle didn't just wake up one morning and decide to leave Montecito. Something shifted, and it wasn't random. At first, the setup looked flawless. Massive mansion, ultra-wealthy neighbors, locked-down privacy. It screamed, "We made it!" And for a minute, it worked. Then suddenly, it didn't. The energy changed quietly. No shouting, no public fallout, no dramatic scenes, just fewer dinner invites, fewer casual pop-ins, fewer friendly texts. That kind of slow fade you only notice once it's already real. And in Montecito, that silence, that's the warning sign. This isn't Hollywood.
Leave Montecito. Prince Harry and Meghan are raising eyebrows across the neighbourhood as they continue to release more controversial material in the Netflix series, and with the Duke's recent promotional interviews for his memoir Spare. According to reporter Martha Kellner of Sky News, as the TV and book deals mount up, neighbours are beginning to question the motives behind their media offensive. She went around the Montecito neighbourhood asking residents what they think about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's ceaseless revelations about the British royal family.
Out there, people don't care about podcasts or streaming premieres. Most neighbors have deeper pockets than celebrities and zero interest in hype. They like calm. They like predictable. They like low-key. Meghan brought headlines, interviews, clarifications, relaunches, constant motion. And when that kind of spotlight starts hovering near private estates, people get uneasy fast. By mid-2025, the temperature had cooled. No one was rude. That's not how Montecito moves. They were just distant. And distance there isn't random. It's deliberate. It's how people quietly step away from what feels unpredictable. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Her name started attracting attention, speculation, and non-stop chatter into a zip code that values peace above everything.
Meghan Markle going to be the next queen of Palm Beach. That apparently Prince Harry and Megxie are considering buying a home in Florida, and it's all because of the Beckhams. And so let's go into this story, find out how the Beckhams enter this narrative, and then shortly after, I'm then going to explain to you the Montecito of it all. Okay, guys?
When that shift happens, staying gets tense. You feel it at dinner tables. You feel it when conversations wrap up quicker than they used to. You feel it when your phone stops buzzing. And once comfort turns into tension, you start scanning for exits, even if you tell yourself it's your call. That's when the real story begins. Montecito didn't move first. Hollywood did. And this part? That's the one she likely didn't expect. Hollywood didn't attack her. Hollywood didn't cancel her. It just stopped calling. And in that world, silence is louder than criticism. On paper, it looked solid. Big contracts, big platforms, Spotify, Netflix, splashy interviews. From the outside, it seemed like she had mastered the post-royal pivot. But behind closed doors, the rhythm slowed. Meetings stretched out, projects stalled, decisions sat untouched. That's how the fade starts.
So when they talk about irresponsible tabloids, I've got a lot of stories like that of stuff we didn't publish. So I'm not after any gratitude, but I do think in the scales of balance between the media and the royal family, the media has been as much a part of the longevity of the royal family when many other monarchies have disappeared through Europe.
That's an interesting
One of the
perspective.
last standing ones is the British monarchy, and a lot of that's because the media still fuel them and portray them as the biggest stars on the planet.
Angela, very interesting, isn't it? Because, of course, Prince Harry has tried to paint a narrative, and this is a narrative that has absolutely been embraced by Meghan Markle.
Spotify was the first real signal. The partnership didn't close with celebration, no second chapter, no expansion announcement, no glowing, we can't wait for what's next. It just ended. Clean, quiet, no sequel energy. Then came Netflix. Yes, the first project drew eyes, but in Hollywood, attention only counts if it snowballs, and the snowball never rolled. No urgent press about upcoming series, no insider leaks about exciting developments, no industry chatter building momentum, just silence. And here's how that machine really works. When studios believe in you, they push hard, they promote, they amplify, they line up the next move before the first one cools off. When they're unsure, they step back and let time do the talking. And sometimes, fading out is more brutal than any headline ever could. By late 2025, Meghan's name wasn't even floating around industry rooms anymore. Not as drama, not as controversy, just not at all. That's when it gets real.
Meghan's natural allies, especially those in the MSM, are realizing this is a bust and trying to get her to understand that there has to be a second act. So look at this from the Los Angeles Times, the liberal left-wing Los Angeles Times.
Agents stopped pitching her like she was priority talent. PR teams shifted energy toward clients who felt like safer bets. Executives weren't asking, what's next for Meghan? They were asking, who else do we have? And that shift right there, that's the sound of a window sliding shut. Not because of some huge public flop, but because nobody's anticipating your next move anymore. And when Hollywood stops anticipating you, everybody notices, including Montecito. So now, two currents were moving at once, Hollywood cooling off, and home life starting to feel tense. That's when things stop drifting slowly and start picking up speed. Because the next wave of rejection didn't come from studios, it came from celebrities. And that hits harder. Hollywood going quiet is one thing, but when fellow stars start stepping back, that's a different level.
Meghan Markle's getting some criticism from the Daily Beast. With every terrible project, a little more of Archie and Lilibet slips into view. And the Daily Beast says that because we were getting these new Netflix numbers today, which the Daily Beast claims they did, and Meghan could not reach the top 10. She's in like mid-30s when, her show was released last week.
Celebrities don't randomly ghost people. By late 2025, something felt off. No group selfies, no spontaneous event pop-ins, no famous friends casually defending her online, just silence. And in celebrity culture, silence speaks loud. Distancing in that world is polished but obvious. Texts take longer to answer. Dinner plans never quite line up. People are so busy forever. And suddenly, you're not standing in the same rooms anymore. One situation made the shift impossible to ignore.
The exclusive from Rob Shooter, who was the first to officially confirm that Netflix was ending its exclusive partnership with the Sussexes. He writes, "The royal glow has dimmed. Meghan Markle's Netflix project with Love Meghan won't be getting a third season, sources confirm to Shooter Scoop. Despite Meghan and Harry's fresh multi-year first look deal with the streamer, insiders say the lifestyle-heavy series is on life support. The second series was a bust, never cracking Netflix's top 10 in the US, UK, or globally. The numbers were dreadful," one insider admits. "Netflix wants global hits. Meghan's show just didn't deliver."
According to multiple celebrity reporters and insider chatter, Jennifer Aniston became part of the story. The talk was that Meghan attempted a neighbor-style connection when she knew Jennifer was nearby. Nothing dramatic, polite outreach, friendly gestures, the usual Hollywood, let's keep it warm vibe. And it reportedly went nowhere. No public acknowledgement, no visible response, no follow-up. That silence carried weight. Because when someone like Jennifer Aniston doesn't engage, it sends a quiet message. Don't loop me into this. No statement needed. After that, the pattern felt wider. No invitations, no collaborations, no casual dinner sightings. And here's the key. It wasn't about hate. It was about caution.
It feels like Jennifer Aniston really has the measure of Meghan Markle here, especially using that word poisonous, and especially making the point, Angela, that she doesn't like the way that she has treated the British royal family.
Well, that really pleases me, actually, and I would like to hear more and more people saying that, because it has been just so awful for them. And Meghan actually is very, very rude and bad. And I'm very pleased that people say, look, you do what you like, but I'm actually for the royal family, and I don't want to hear the dreadful things that you or Harry are saying. Get lost.
Celebrities protect their brand, their contracts, and their peace like it's gold. If proximity brings awkward headlines or complicated questions, they create space, calmly, permanently. And when that space forms, the invisible safety net disappears. In Hollywood, famous friends aren't just friends. They're insulation. They normalize you. They defend you without trying. They make everything feel steady. Once that insulation is gone, pressure builds fast. That's when the conversation shifts from image to money. Because bad press is annoying. Social awkwardness is uncomfortable. But financial strain, that forces decisions.
Meghan and Harry, y'all owe me a serious chunk of change that loan for your Montecito mansion. If it ain't paid back in 30 days, I'll have no choice but to take this to court.
By the second half of 2025, the whispers weren't about vibes anymore. They were about numbers. People close to the situation kept repeating the same concern. The lifestyle looked bigger than the income stream. That Montecito estate, gorgeous on camera, but expensive behind the gates. Security alone costs a serious amount. Add staff, legal teams, PR, retainers, property upkeep, constant travel. The expenses don't pause. And one name kept surfacing in background conversations: Tyler Perry. Early on in the US, when everything felt uncertain, he stepped in with major support: security, space, stability. That kind of backing from someone that powerful buys breathing room. It gives you runway. But by 2025, insiders hinted that even that dynamic felt different, not publicly tense, just less comfortable behind the scenes. And when financial pressure rises while social circles shrink, that's when the story stops being gossip and starts becoming strategy.
Meghan Markle awkwardly love-bombing Jennifer Aniston with cringy gifts and invites ahead of the Friends actress's move to the Divas neighborhood. Let me take you through this story from Radar Online because it is quite something. Needy Meghan Markle is love-bombing Jennifer Aniston with gifts ahead of the actress's move to Montecito after her stalking ordeal, but sources say the star wants the Duchess to get lost.
The conversation wasn't about friendship or drama anymore. It was about pressure. about how long support can realistically last when big projects aren't landing and the money isn't flowing like it used to. That's the uncomfortable part people don't like to say out loud. Generosity feels easy when timelines don't exist. When cash is moving, nobody asks questions. When it slows down, everything gets audited. Suddenly people want clarity. Suddenly temporary help needs a deadline. Suddenly math matters more than loyalty. And once the math takes center stage, Montecito stops making sense real quick. You don't stay parked in one of the most expensive, high-maintenance setups in California when the safety net feels thinner. You start thinking about reducing exposure, financially and publicly. At that point, moving isn't about taste, it's about survival. And when money becomes the pressure point, every other issue speeds up fast.
As to why she wants to move over to Florida, could there be another reason? Because reports are coming through that her life has completely failed in Montecito, as she's been unable to win the elite over there. Here, the Daily Mail article from back in April. Montecito mean girls are whispering to me about Walmart me Meghan as her podcast flops, and that's not even their cruelest cut. So the word from Montecito insiders is that Meghan's mean girl friends are relentlessly gossiping behind her back, roasting her as pumpkin spice and Walmart for allegedly selling out in a series of cheap stunts that do little to establish her as a forward-looking influencer. To their point, a show about founders is clumsy Gen Z speak for anyone who coined a hashtag. It's so 5 minutes ago, as the kids say.
Now it's not about who's clapping for you. It's about what you can actually afford to sustain. That's when things stop feeling emotional and start looking obvious. A brand has one real assignment. It has to pay the bills. By 2025, the shine around Archewell still looked polished on paper. Big mission, big language, big vision. But looking active isn't the same as generating serious revenue. Charity doesn't bankroll luxury estates. Awareness doesn't cover private security. Buzz doesn't handle legal retainers. That's the gap nobody wants to focus on. Security invoices don't pause. PR firms don't suddenly say, "Don't worry about it." Lawyers, advisors, consultants, household staff, they all expect payment every single month. And those numbers stack up fast. The issue wasn't zero money.
Here we go. The article says here that apparently Brooklyn and Nicola have become big fans of Hazza and Megxie, the source saying they can't stop singing their praises, and that these four are as thick as thieves and have been talking about all sorts of collaborations, and that Hazza and Megxie are now seriously thinking about getting a place in Florida. Then going down to say, as I scroll down here, there we go, she no doubt would love the idea of establishing herself as the Queen of Palm Beach, says the source. In other words, Megxie apparently loves the idea of trying to establish herself as the Queen of Palm Beach. Could it also be because Netflix has dropped her and Montecito has not accepted her, sees her as a failure, and so she's going to move to the other side of the country? Well, let's put it this way, guys. We know her life has now failed in Hollywood. As reports are coming through confirming what we all knew was going to happen anyway. I've been saying it for well over a year. A lot of us have in the Megxit community. Netflix is dumping her and Hazza. They're not renewing the contract in any way, shape or form. It is done.
The issue was high overhead meeting slower income. No massive new deal resetting momentum. No headline-grabbing contract injecting fresh energy. Projects stalled. Ideas lingered. And when your lifestyle depends on the next agreement landing on time, delays hit different. Here's the cold reality. When a brand stops expanding, it quietly starts shrinking, even if the outside still looks glossy. And once that shift happens, the question changes. It's no longer, what do I want next? It becomes, what can I trim without everything collapsing? That's when the Montecito estate stops feeling like a trophy and starts feeling heavy, too costly, too visible, too hard to justify long term.
The neighbor the elderly man who tried to take a book or a video, I think it was a documentary to Meghan, about the
Yes,
history of the
present.
local area.
It was a
And-
present.
Yeah, exactly, because he wanted her to know about the area, and she rejected him. So she's only interested, it seems to me, Angela, with friends who are going to further her either professionally or reputationally. Because we've seen that with the likes of Jamie Kern-Lima, with the boss of Spanx, Sarah Blackley, who she interviewed this week. All of her friendships, she just views as networking opportunity.
The brand could still talk a big game, but it couldn't comfortably carry that level of living anymore. And when that clicks, the next move isn't about ambition, it's about control. That's how Florida entered the chat. Let's stop acting like this was some fearless reinvention. People don't trade Montecito for Florida when everything is booming. They move when staying starts feeling tight. This wasn't about sunshine or a fresh vibe. It wasn't a glow-up. Florida entered the frame when California stopped feeling comfortable and the pressure refused to ease up. Here's the difference everyone understands instantly. California is where you build status. Florida is where you create distance. Distance from Hollywood. Distance from industry circles that cooled off. Distance from neighbors who went quiet. Distance from media narratives that began framing every move like decline instead of growth.
It's not necessary to put the back of their heads on there. It's not necessary to put the side of their heads. It's going to show that like you want to let people in, but you don't want to let them all in. And the whole thing is the privacy.
And as I've reported over the years, it doesn't stop there. There have been rumblings from the Montecito neighbours over the years that they're just really unhappy with Hazza and Megxi being in their community because, according to the reports, the neighbours are really unhappy that Hazza and Megxi really don't do anything in their community at all. They don't support the community, they don't mesh with the community, they don't socialise with the community, nothing. And the Montecito community is like, well, hang on a minute. Who the hell do you guys think you are, really, in the grand scheme of things?
Florida lowers the temperature, lower taxes, less entertainment media hovering, fewer studio expectations. And that last part, that's the real headline. If this relocation was a power play, it would have arrived with fireworks. New partnerships, fresh deals, major announcements lined up back to back. Instead, it arrived with rumors, side comments, and people asking, wait, why Florida? That's not applause. That's doubt. And here's the risky part. Florida doesn't cushion celebrities the way Montecito does. There's no polished bubble smoothing the optics. No quiet social circle absorbing awkward headlines. If something feels shaky, people notice fast. If something feels rushed, they say it out loud.
I mean, again, it's a nice concept.
It's a gesture. Yeah.
This is such silly PR. I mean, it just is. It's such silly. And you're so right. Like, because I was like, is she trying to promote her jam? But no, she's trying to change her public.
Throw jam in there.
She does say that. Meghan Markle Hollywood questions, but you're my new expert. I hope you're okay with accepting this position.
I've taken it on like a badge of honor.
Once you leave the last place that gave you cover, every quiet month hits louder. Every stalled project stands out. Florida doesn't automatically restore reputations. It pressures them, which leads to the part that's hard to spin. This story doesn't end with a dramatic explosion. It ends with something colder, finality. For years, Meghan Markle always had a fallback lane. If one partnership cooled, another platform opened.
Even Meghan knows. And of course, she is right to say that acting was a means to an end, rather than a passion project for Ms. Markle.
If one circle tightened, another network welcomed her. If momentum slowed, a new headline refreshed the narrative. There was always a cushion. That cushion feels thinner now. Florida isn't a timeout. It's not a strategic pause. It's a proving ground. No elite California shield. No automatic Hollywood patience. No built-in assumption that the next big win is loading. What happens next has to convert into measurable results, not trending topics, not temporary sympathy, not debate cycles that burn hot for a week and fade. Real outcomes. Because here's what people underestimate.
That was the whole huge deal a few weeks ago, right? They're not spending Christmas together. It was literally multiple stories that we heard about that and a blind item.
When things stall at this level, the reaction isn't outrage. It isn't mockery. It's indifference. Industry executives stop revisiting conversations. Studios stop circling back. Celebrities stop being cautious with their distance. Media coverage turns flatter. And eventually, the phone just stops ringing. That's why this chapter carries more weight than any interview, podcast, or public appearance. Not because it's dramatic, because it's quiet. This is the first stretch without a palace backdrop, without heavy Hollywood backing, without influential allies stepping in to steady the frame. Just performance or pause. And at this level, silence doesn't mean anticipation anymore. It means the room already moved on.